Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
How's it going, everyone? And welcome to the Smack Raw podcast, your one-stop shop for WWE and AEW news, recaps, pay-per-view predictions, all that other good stuff. My name is Vince. I'm joined here by series regular Benji.
Yo, what up, what up, what up?
And we have a special guest tonight. Unfortunately, Colin isn't able to join us for a couple weeks, but I have my good friend Jay. He's a local wrestler here in Chicago. Jay, say hello to everyone.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
For those of you that may be new, we are a wrestling podcast. They can be found on a multitude of platforms. We're on Podbean, we're on Stitcher, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and we're on YouTube too. Go ahead to our YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and comment on this video. Let us know what you think. And yeah, we're just a couple of guys that like to talk wrestling, but we'd like to talk wrestling with you guys as well. So reach out to us on Twitter. You can find the show at Smack Raw Pod. You can find Benji at Calavera Comedy. You can find me at
Calavera Comedy.
Yeah, there you go. You can find me at SES Vince anywhere you look me up. And Jay, where can people find you online?
Everybody can find me on for Twitter. You can find me at JThunder2009. For Instagram, you can find me at JThunder2009.
Sounds good. So before we get into today's show, let's talk a little bit about you, Jay. Let people know a little bit about yourself. Give you a little 2-minute promo. Let us know what you got.
Well, as you can see, I'm Jay. 28 years old. A local professional wrestler. I've been doing this for about a good 3 years training. Been training at this place called CSW, Chicago Style Wrestling. I've been doing this, like I said, I've been doing it for like 3 years. I enjoy it very much. I'm just a wonderful wrestling fan, like just all of us. So I enjoy this. Can you call it a sport? It's sports entertainment, I guess.
Yeah, it's a sport.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, you know how it is. Everyone says it's like, oh, it's sports entertainment. It's not real. I mean, you know how it goes, kayfabe, all that good stuff. But I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I enjoy it a lot. I'm hoping in the near future I can get my craft better and you know maybe do this on a professional level.
Maybe get on the banger NXT episode like tonight, right?
Hey man, that episode was pretty good. I will have to say that.
Yeah. Okay, so you have two gimmicks, if I'm not mistaken, right? You have two different characters that you're developing
Yes.
right now. Why don't you tell us about those two, like the difference between those two?
Okay, so my first character that I actually I didn't really come up with it. We were literally at tapings, and we were at because what we call tapings is like where we do promos and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we were at tapings, and we were doing tapings, and next thing you know, everyone laughed at me because of the fact of how proper I am for an African American guy. So they decided, hey, why don't you do a golfer gimmick? Like
Oh my god.
you're this preppy guy that pretty much
Like
you're
Kerwin
from
White.
Schaumburg. Yeah, pretty much.
You're
Pretty
like
much
the black.
Kerwin White.
You're like the black
I'm the
Kerwin
black
White.
Kerwin White.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's a hell of a
So
gimmick.
yeah, they were like, "Oh, you can do this golfer gimmick. His name's Big T.
I
You
like it.
can literally speak normal. And then the thing about it is that they matched me up with this guy who apparently he's my little brother, and his name's Sweet T.
Ah.
Well, now he's called Prince T because he at the show last I think 2 weeks ago, he decided to dress up in all purple. So
Oh.
now he's Prince T now.
Okay.
So
I thought he won like a King of the Ring tournament or something. And decided to go with.
Oh yeah, apparently, like I said, I literally, I didn't go to a show for like 1 week and things changed. So I was like, what's going on?
It's like that
But
at indie shows, right?
T's
It's like
character,
trial and error.
yeah, man. But T's character is basically a hustler, street thug. He's pretty much like a pimp. So he talks with ebonics and everything like that. And I always have to. I'm the big brother, so I have to keep him out of trouble. So it's kind of like I'm the proper one. He's the hood one. So I like have to say. So when he sits here and talk about, well, he'll sit here. This is literally how the skit goes. So literally like, hey man, yeah, we gonna get all this money and stuff like that. We gonna do everything. We gotta treat these women like they money and everything. And I'm literally sitting there and I'm like, sir, you can't do that. These women are delectable and you need to treat them with much respect. It's kind of like that,
Yeah.
like I have to be the one to be the respectful one, and he's the yeah. So
No worries. And then you also got the other character, which is what you're gonna use at Chicago Style Wrestling this Friday, right?
Actually, the Big T character is the one that I'm gonna use because the other character, the J Thunder character, is the character that goes for Global Professional Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
The Jake Thunder character is basically I'm trying to figure out the words for it. It's basically a big dude, who's
Like Mark
pretty
Henry,
much trying to run through pretty much that's basically pretty much that. It's literally that. I'm the runaway Mack truck. That's what I am.
So you go from Mark Henry Hall of Pain to Kerwin White. That's interesting, right there.
Yeah.
That range.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they have me literally in a situation where like I guess like my brother was injured,
Mm-hmm.
who is Sweet Tea, and
Okay.
apparently he gets injured, and I dropped the Big T gimmick and turn into Jay Thunder, who is like the runaway truck, just trying to like
Okay.
monster
So
everybody.
there's a build up and a setup to it.
Yeah. So like that was literally what the setup was before this show.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was setting up for the Big T character, but then T actually got hurt. Like he legitimately got hurt last month. So he couldn't wrestle.
Mm.
So
Wow.
so I had to set up for the Jay Thunder character, and I was like, oh okay, we can do that.
Nice.
So,
Well, we'll talk more about a little bit more about what you got going on towards the end of the podcast, and we'll give you a little bit more time to go on about that. But like you were saying,
absolutely.
Your partner, he got injured, but someone who just came back from injury was Tommaso Ciampa, and he got into it with Angel Garza last week in a backstage interview, which set up our first match. Angel Garza, Tommaso Ciampa. It was obviously like going into this match, Tommaso Ciampa is gonna win because this is his return match, and like, if you don't know, Jay, I'm like the biggest Angel Garza stan out there. Like, I'm gonna own that to the grave, dude. Like, I don't know what it is about this guy, but man, I'm sold. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's great. He did get a chance to show off a little bit of his character work. He obviously did the whole Chippendale rip away pan thing, and he had a nice suicide dive. But in the end, it was just a showcase match for Ciampa. What you guys think about this match? Like, I mean, there wasn't too much of a match. It was like 6-7 minutes deep. But what you guys thought?
I think that Ciampa's recovery time, if anything, is incredible.
I was just about to say that. I was literally just about to say
he
that.
He was supposed to be out like 11 months to a year. He comes back in 7 months.
He's drinking some of that. He's drinking some of that Cena secret stuff.
That Cena secret stuff. Yeah, we were just. I swear to God, we were just. I was just talking about that because I remember back in 2008 when he came back from the Royal Rumble, and he was supposed to be gone for like. He was supposed to be gone for up to a year, and he came back within I think it was like a 5 or 6 month period. It's crazy.
Oh no, man! Like, there's something in that. Like, I don't know, man. He called up John Cena and he gave him like his plug or the number to his plug or something because he came back even better than ever. He came out and he looked great. The match I mean, like I said, it was mostly like a highlight match for like Ciampa, put him over, get him over with the crowd, reintroduce him on TV. He won with that draping DDT, which looks devastating, and like I like that that's a finisher because like Randy Orton uses that on main roster, or he was using it on main roster, and it wouldn't end matches. Like it's so devastating, you can end the match with that kind of move, and like we saw, like Ciampa got the win. I would have liked to see a longer match with Angel Garza, but he's a newer face to NXT, and I like that he's showcased on NXT. And he's one of those faces from that breakout tournament that looks like he's going to slowly be positioned to like rise up the ranks of NXT. Hopefully he does.
Yeah.
After that, shortly we had like almost immediately after the match, it was the Undisputed Era came out. Their music hit, right? And initially, they're just slowly making their way down to the ring. I don't know if you guys noticed this. I know Benji didn't notice this, and I had to point it out to him, and he laughed after I did. But Roderick Strong came out with the Velveteen glasses on, Velveteen Dream glasses on. I don't know if you caught that, Jay.
Yeah, you know what? I did notice that. I noted like because that was the match that I like. That was the segment that I wasn't able to get, but I was able to watch a little bit of it to like see, and I was kind of confused on why he came out there with it. But then I realized, the North American Championship. So
yeah, so it was just them. They came out. They slowly started circling the rings, Shield style, just like hyenas. Kyle O'Reilly makes his way to the commentary table, and he tosses a USB drive to Mauro Ranallo, and he says, "Check this out," or "Play this," or whatever. And Mauro says that like we're gonna try to get this to our production truck. We're gonna try to get this and see what they say, right? See if we're able to show this to you guys. And they just basically left. When they were circling the ring, Ciampa's in the middle of the ring. He's sitting down in the chair. He's got his crutch. He's ready to go. But the Undisputed Era, they just bolt. They dip. We go to commercial. We come right back, and they tell us that we were able to show you the footage, and it was the Undisputed Era just gang like attack, freaking Velveteen Dream. We go to the back, and he's just like completely dead, stacked on something, and he's just destroyed. Like Roderick Strong at one point just breaks the Velveteen Dream glasses, and I know for a fact that Benji was mad about that.
Damn, dude, those glasses are iconic.
I mean, he's got
that's
the
so
money
weird.
to get
Like
more, but still,
man, this is so weird. Like those glasses are just like that glasses. Those glasses make the character. They really do.
Dude, and it's crazy because like you were talking about your character, like it's just like Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark, he was just going through the motions trying to find the character that stuck. And Velveteen Dream was just like something that like I've heard this phrase thrown in wrestling a lot, is like you just throw stuff to the wall and see what sticks. And that stuck, the glasses stuck, but they didn't stick for much longer because, like I said, Roger Strong broke them, just attacked Velveteen Dream, and the whole point was because obviously Velveteen Dream was supposed to get a title shot against Roger Strong next week, and it was just a setup to like beat him up, and like Roderick Strong just trying to weasel his way out of that title match. And it was also a catalyst for Adam Cole to send a message to Ciampa saying, look, this is what happened to Dream. This is going to happen to you if you keep stepping to the Undisputed Era. I thought it was
But here's
great.
my thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
And but sorry to cut you off, but here's my thing, though. So my thing is that so they get rid of Velveteen Dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to like fast forward a little bit, but then they give the triple threat match. We're making a triple threat match. I mean,
here's the thing. That just seems like a standard WWE trope where like the heel's trying to like weasel his way out of a title match and ends up screwing himself over in the end. We'll talk more about that triple threat once we get like towards that. But yeah, dude, obviously it was almost clear as day. So like you were saying, I guess we'll talk about the next match after this, because after that I think it went straight to commercial, and we came back, and it was Only Lorcan and Danny Burch taking on two fours of Imperium, Fabian Eichner and Marcellus Bartel. Benji, am I pronouncing them right?
Yes, sir. And man, this match, there was no stopping this match, man. They just went at it.
Dude, they the combination of like those two, the Imperium guys, and Only Lorcan and Danny Burch, like it's like they're legit trying to hit each other. Like you couldn't tell this was like choreographed or like scripted like wrestling, you know? Like it legit looked like they were trying to like beat the crap out of each other. But one thing to note, and I hate that I keep harping back to this. I can't get used to Alexander Wolf like coming out looking normal in a tracksuit when he used to come out mosh pitting with fucking Sanity like weeks back. You know, I don't know. It's just still weird to me. Have you guys adjusted to that?
I mean, I kind of have. I've kind of but only because of the fact that like it's the same thing now. It's like you're getting used to it now. Like there are certain things that I couldn't get used to. Like I couldn't get used to the fact that Triple H doesn't have hair anymore. So
that was weird.
like you don't realize
okay. Since we're talking about Triple H and his weird like appearances he's had, I think that wasn't as bad as when he goes clean cut Triple H in his later years, especially when he like did the movie Chaperone. And he had his long hair, but he had a clean cut look. I'm like, man, that's like the worst Triple H. That's like,
but I mean,
that's like Blade Triple H.
Exactly.
Yeah, Blade Trinity Triple H. Oh, no, but I mean, like that was literally. But you got to realize though, at that time, Triple H was at the top of his game. Yeah. He was Golden Shovel Triple H. So
still, I mean, it was kind of weird, but like I'm still getting used to Alexander Wolf, but he was in the match, so that didn't strike me too much, man. Like. Especially, I want to like talk about Fabian Eichner because like this dude is crazy athletic for a dude built the way he is. Because did you guys catch that double like springboard like moonsault dive thing that he did in the ring?
That was smooth.
That was so smooth, and like the commentary team made a point of emphasis saying that this is it, like Fabian Eichner at his peak, because like when he was in the Cruiserweight Classic, he dropped all that weight, and he was in the Cruiserweight Classic, and they made a point of emphasis trying to put him over, and like Imperium did end up getting the win. I mean, obviously, like I guess like you can kind of like put this in one of those matches where like I think for the most part all the matches kind of felt like you knew who the winner was. I'll talk more about that later once we get to the final one, but it could have went both ways at a certain point, but in the end, it was Imperium picking up the win with that double team move. It was like a power bomb, like senton,
like a power bomb, like
cross body
diving European uppercut, something.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah. It was pretty smooth. It was good, and it did what they were supposed to. They ended up picking the win. They're putting over Imperium, and I don't know, like War Games is coming up, so like they haven't really set up that match just yet. We don't know who's going to be in them. Imperium could be a good candidate to be one of the teams in War Games. After that, we had a Johnny Gargano vignette and an interview, just trying to keep Johnny Gargano in the minds of the NXT fans. From there, we transitioned to our next match, which Io Shirai, like before the match even came out, like they did like that whole like music video for Io Shirai ever since she's turned heel. I don't know if you caught that. And then they did the whole Io Shirai in action, and she comes out and actually has a match against Tainara Conti, or I think they just changed their name back to just Tainara. One of those standard WWE, we're just gonna like cut your name in half type of thing. But overall, I like this match. I'm a big Io Shirai fan, and this was another one of those matches where I felt like you kind of know.
Wait, you said that I thought she won against Tegan Fox.
Yeah, no. You're talking about
no. Okay. See, here's the thing. It all just kind of blended together. She took on Kaden Carter, the former Lacey Lane.
Okay, there we go. All right, I was about to say because I was like, I remember Tainara went against Tegan Fox on her return match.
Okay, yeah. So sorry. I see that because here's the thing. Like that's the whole point. I was trying to make this point on the podcast was that it was very like point blank today for me at least. Like I've noticed it in the last 2 episodes of NXT where they've had like a couple really good matches, but they've always squeezed in those standard squash matches or these are just showcase matches to get a certain wrestler over type of match where you know who's going to win. Just like Ciampa and Angel Garza, we know Ciampa was going to win. In this match, it was Io Shirai versus Kaden Carter. Like I said, Kaden Carter got some good offense in there. It wasn't just the Io Shirai show, but it was one of those matches where like you see this match and you gotta think to yourself, yeah, Io Shirai is probably gonna pick up the victory here. And this was the second match, and it was maybe like a total of like 4 or 5 matches where it felt like that to me. I don't know about you guys.
So for you, it felt a little too predictable. Is that what's going?
For me, come on, like I like Kaden Carter, and she's good because I saw her match and she has been getting good, but like she's still a little like not like the most crisp with her moves. Like the transitions are still like kind of slow, but she's getting better. She's improving. She's not gonna be like A1 like professional from the get go. I mean, you should like Jay, like from experience, you know that it takes repetition and practice to get better at your craft.
Believe me, you guys do not like just to kind of like kind of get off topic for a second. Like bumps are no joke, man. Like bumps are no joke.
And this is a big guy, fellas. He's a big guy, so come on.
Like I'm 319, and when I first started, I was 340. So
Damn.
when I first started, I was bumping with 340 pounds on my back. Like you do not realize that it like you can roll around all you want to, but when you hit that bump, it's still like you're hitting wood. That's what you're hitting. That shit hurts.
No, but that's the point. I was in this match. The point that I saw and what commentary was trying to emphasize was that Io was the veteran, that she was getting the upper hand on Kaden Carter, and like to start the match, they did a nice little sequence where they're both like doing like this cartwheel and like flips type things, and it was really cool because like Carter was like matching Io like flip for flip. Eventually, she does get like a little bit of momentum her way. Io capitalizes it. Commentary makes an emphasis of saying that it's the veteran and savviness of Io Shirai that takes advantage of the inexperienced Kaden Carter, and she wins with her standard moonsault. Her signature moonsault, which I think is fantastic. She's like has one of the best moonsaults in the game right now, and yeah, it was one of those matches where like, as much as I like both competitors, it was kind of telegraphed for Io Shirai to get that win. Don't you guys think?
Well, in this case, I can agree. I can agree with you in this particular match that clearly Io Shirai was going to win. It was going to be I guess for you, the predictable thing. To me, what stood out, like, is to what you pointed out, is which, as much as you said it was a showcase for Io, I think is equally a showcase for Kaden Carter as well, especially with people who haven't seen her before, because she was hitting some kind of innovative stuff in that ring a little bit. I saw.
For sure.
She had a little, so I think it worked both ways. I mean, clear, like you said, it was going to be an EO win all day, but I mean, I don't know, man.
I mean, I didn't mean it in a way where it's like some local jobber or some like kind of like main rosters type of squash match. But what NXT likes to do is they get one of their up and coming stars, like to highlight them, put them in this position to get more eyeballs on them by putting them in there with a bigger name. But when it's kind of telegraphed, you kind of know. Just like I said, I'm going back to Angel Garza. He's one of my favorite wrestlers right now in all of wrestling. There's something about the guy. He's very charismatic. He's a great in-ring technician, and he's in there with Tommaso Ciampa. And we know that just power level. If we're gonna talk, if we're gonna take it to like
power levels.
If we're gonna go talk Dragon Ball Z for a bit, and we talking about power levels, as much as I like Gohan, but he's like back in the Frieza saga, he wasn't gonna match that Frieza power level, and that's kind of what it felt like to me.
But here's the thing, though. When you come down to Gohan in the Frieza saga, he didn't reach his. I feel like he didn't reach his true potential.
Right,
at all whatsoever.
But that's what I'm saying with these like showcase matches that NXT's been having, especially like today, especially like this is just the second match where I noticed it, where like they showcase a character or a wrestler that has good potential that they highlight, but it's kind of telegraphed that they're gonna lose to the other competitor because just like power level wise, ranking wise in the hierarchy of NXT, the other competitor is gonna win, just like right now. But Io might be in a situation where she's gonna have to face someone of equal like power level to her if we're gonna keep the Dragon Ball Z conversation going, the Dragon Ball Z lingo. Because after the match, Io takes the mic and she's cutting a promo saying, "Not Rhea, not Bianca, Shayna is mine. So she's basically saying that because the previous week Bianca Belair came out saying that she wants Shayna Baszler, and the week before that Rhea Ripley came out saying that she wants Shayna Baszler. So that set up a match between Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair for next week. But Io tonight, she's like, no, they're both wrong. I'm going to get Shayna next. I deserve a shot against Shayna. And that brings out Rhea Ripley. And she basically cuts a promo saying that the gist of it was that like Bianca put my name in her mouth, and now I'm going to take care of her next week. Io, if you put my name in your mouth, I'm coming for you next. And Io doesn't say much. She just has like this menacing, evil smirk in her face, which I freaking love. I freaking love Io, man. She's great. Ever since she turned heel, she's like, she feels very comfortable. And from there, she yells at her in Japanese. She says something I obviously cannot translate. I do not know what she said, but like I was saying, Rigo did announce and NXT did announce that Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair is going to be happening next week. But also what they did announce was after that they transitioned to an interview between Kathy Kelly and William Regal, and Regal confirmed that because Roderick Strong attacked Velveteen Dream, he will indeed not be able to compete next week, and he's actually going to be out for an extended period of time, thus making the match between Dominic Dijak and Keith Lee a number one contenders match for the North American title.
North American title.
Dude, there's just so many titles like in WWE right now. I'm mixing them all up. But yeah,
it's okay, bro. It is. I mean, like we got a 24/7 championship. Come on now.
Exactly. So like we were saying, so like and he was saying that the next match, it was the following match, which it was. So Lee versus Dijak was the next match. That's what they were setting up. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I might have missed before they actually went into the match. Did they do anything?
I don't think so. I think they just went straight into it.
Oh, okay. So it was a little thing saying that Boa had like a little interview saying that he wanted Killian Dane, revenge for what happened last week, because Killian Dane cost him this match and he got beaten up by Killian Dane. But yeah, William Regal did make the match number one contenders match between Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic. Honestly, guys, it was probably match of the freaking night.
You said which match?
Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic.
Oh, you know what? I love the fact that because I love talking about the big guys, even though it's not about the fact I don't have nothing against the small guys, but
you gravitate
those two know how to. But those two, they know how to work. How they work really good together. Like they really do.
Yeah.
Like I saw one of the first. I think didn't they have a match?
In Bola, was it?
Yeah,
I think it wasn't.
They had a match before. They had it was an NXT match.
Oh, dude, this is like their fourth match, because the first match was, I think, a win by Dijak. The second match was a count out. The third match, which I think was 2 weeks ago, Lee won, and today was going to be the rubber.
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly the one I was talking about. It was 2 weeks ago. It was I think it was on the premiere of
USA.
The USA premiere.
Mm-hmm.
It was Keith Lee versus they were together. Yeah, I cannot pronounce his name.
We're gonna call him Dijak.
Dijak.
Just Dijak for short.
Okay. Dijak. Yeah, Dijak.
De cariño le decimos Dijak.
Okay, Dijak.
Yeah. No, but I watched that match and I was like, man, like they move. I'm seeing Dominik Dijak do a moonsault, and I'm like, oh my god. And one of the things is that I'm the type of person. It's been kind of hard for me to like really watch wrestling nowadays because I'm in it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
when you're in the sport, you don't get enough time to watch. But sometimes I have to watch it to get good ideas, or it's like how do you say, like when you're on a football team and you watch tapings of other teams and plays and stuff like that, what you do right and what you do wrong. Like Keith Lee is someone that I aspire to be the big guys in the ring that can move, that are agile, like Keith Lee, Samoa Joe, Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero, if everyone knows who that is.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure, man. I
you
mean,
know, I gotta make sure.
no, totally. I mean, yeah, you
It's
kind of
always
have
gonna be Chris Hero, man.
like going back to this match though. Like, man, you're talking about like big guys that can move. Like, man, both of these guys are just extremely athletic, and not only that, they can tell a great story because at the start of the match, they just were doing like shoulder tackles to each other, and they couldn't budge at all. And somewhere down the line, Keith Lee starts to work on Dijak's arm, like his left arm, and that's like a story of the match. So like there's storytellers too. So the story of the match is that he's trying to work over Dijak's arm, and that kind of comes into play towards the end of the match because Dijak's trying to hit some of his moves, but he can't do it because he doesn't have all his strength there because the left arm is 100%. I mean, at one point he hits like a frog splash onto the left arm. That shit was sick. I love that. Like big guys going to the top rope and hitting that, man. I freaking love it.
We got extension on that too, man. Not even the what was it? The reverse hurricanrana.
Oh, dude, that poison. Okay, we're jumping ahead, but for a good reason. So if you're watching the YouTube version, here's the little clip of what Benji's talking about. At one point, Keith Lee goes to the top rope. He's trying to like set up something. Dijak kicks him in the face, and he goes underneath, try to like electric chair Keith Lee. And just as you think, okay, so it looks pretty simple, right? It looks like Keith Lee's just going to get an electric chair drop. No, this big, beautiful motherfucker out of nowhere drops a reverse poison Rana and just makes my jaw drop. Like, guys, watching that, like, I legit stopped what I was doing. I'm over here like, what the fuck? Like, that was, for me, that was the highlight of the match. Seeing that big guy hit a reverse poison Rana. That was amazing.
Yeah, the way they were moving and everything. To what Jay says, like these are big ass dudes, and they're moving over here like cruiserweights, man. Like as a smaller guy myself, it's just not damn fair, man.
Here's the thing. So Jay, we're both non-athletic, small Mexican guys, and we feel jelly of these big guys being able to like do all these moves. Like that's just where we're at with things. But like it wasn't just like the athleticism. Like Dijak had some great strikes. He had like maybe like 2 or 3 like tornado cyclone kicks. They look devastating too.
So you guys are probably gonna be mad that I can do a cartwheel in the ring, right?
Man, what the?
You guys are probably gonna be mad that I can actually like do a leapfrog over someone.
This guy.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
okay, Keith Lee.
This guy over here.
Are you guys gonna be mad that I can like I can do a sunset flip? like I didn't want to do it, like, but you guys mad that I can actually like do a senton? That's a thing. So
okay, quit trying to put yourself over, Jay.
Right?
You get it. You're good at the wrestling. But going back to the match after that poison run, Dijak.
So I can do a back spring elbow. All right, I'm done. All right, I won't. But no, let me stop.
Oh my gosh, Jay. Are you done putting yourself
so
over?
Humble, right?
No, you gotta realize, man, like I love this business. Like just being in the business, being able to like, do what you can and like do like this is stuff that I've been wanting to do ever since the Attitude Era. So
Right.
so everyone was, I'll tell you like this. The first day I was in class, everyone was like super surprised at how good I moved in the ring. Like my footwork may be jack shit, but excuse my language, guys. My footwork may be crap, but for me to be over 300 pounds and moving as quick as I do, everyone was like, "Wow, that's not bad."
Right.
Especially considering when you can do schoolboys and sunset flips and leapfrogs and stuff
Dude,
like that.
I'd be lucky if I
Everyone's
can run
like,
the ropes. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I can run the ropes, I'd be lucky to be able to do that. But
So you said sunset flips, back elbow drops. I didn't catch it the first time.
so I don't know if you guys. What I meant to say was, that handspring elbow that Tajiri does.
oh, so you're like
If you guys know.
you're like Ivar from the Viking Raiders because he does that.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, another big.
I can do that.
Okay, you know what? Moving on.
It's just triggered.
Triggered. He's triggered.
Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. Does the ending to this match, we didn't actually get a clean, decisive victory because Dijak was in the turnbuckle. He was trying to hit Hurricane Rana on Keith Lee. He couldn't muster up the strength. Keith Lee looked like he was gonna unleash a spirit bomb from the top rope, but right before he gets a chance to do so, Roderick Strong comes in and he goes and attacks them. He causes the DQ, and initially I'm trying to figure out who did he hit, because that's how wrestling works. If he hit Keith Lee, that's who he's going to face. If he hit Dijak, that's who he's going to face. So it didn't actually matter because after that, freaking William Regal was at the top. Yeah, top of the stage. He was livid. He was mad. He was like, you know what, Roddy? I'm sick of you interfering. You're not going to get away with this. You're going to defend your title next week whether you want to or not, and it's going to be in a triple threat match against both Keith Lee and Dijak. God, this is going to be a banger of a match, man. It's going to be such a good match. I know Benji, I mean, what do you think, man? Like I want to get your idea on this match.
It was I personally, when it's such a good match and you get that damn interference entrance, it always just. But you know what? This is just a perfect combination of things. Roger Strong's clearly gonna be that little sneaky little heel in this match, and it keeps for me, since maybe it's just me being selfish, and and NXT War Games coming up in Chicago pretty soon.
Yeah. For those of you that may not know, we're all three Chicago guys, so we're all hoping
Chicago all day here, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I need me a damn Keith Lee Dijak match to take over, just because give me the damn good show, right?
For real.
But if this is gonna be it to continue it, because I don't know if this ends their feud. I don't know if this is gonna be the end of Dijak and Keith Lee, because they never got that decisive win. So hopefully they'll go back to that. But this setup, it's perfect for a guy like Roger Strong, because honestly, the guy's badass. So you're gonna see a lot of different stuff in this match, and I don't know, man. I'm excited for it. I really like watching Lee and Dijak in the ring together, man. Their chemistry is just off the charts, and then you throw in Roger Strong in there. It's gonna be one of those matches, man.
The one thing that I did notice, and that's a nice little wrinkle that I did appreciate, was here's the thing. Roderick Strong and Undisputed Era as a whole are just a really cool faction, and they're supposed to be heels, but it's kind of hard to boo them where they're so cool. And the fact that, like you said, Benji, these Dijak and Keith Lee both have great chemistry with each other. That was a great match, probably the best match of the entire show. And for it to have a non-finish, and Roderick Strong is the reason why we didn't get that clean finish. It gets heat on Roddy. It gets people to turn on him and be upset with him. So that's good. That's good storytelling right there. And you set up this really good match, and you save Keith Lee versus Dijak for a second time, which is great.
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe I can get Jay's opinion on this. In this day and age, is it harder to be a good a baby face? Is that harder to do than just to be a heel, especially with heels being cheered and being seen as the cool thing more?
Okay, so in this sense, because my characters are both heels, so it's literally I feel like it's so much easier to be a heel because you can be an asshole. You can be an asshole, and everyone boos you. You just do dastardly things. You be an asshole. That's simple enough, right?
Right.
As a babyface, you have to get the crowd. You're not gonna get the crowd. Like it's so like as a babyface, it is so hard to get the crowd. It's like you gotta be like super like and it's not even about being athletic anymore because you can watch a match, you can have a match, um, and it could be athletic all you want to, but if you don't get the crowd,
Yeah.
that's a dead match.
I
Like
mean, that's what happens with a
it's
lot of
so much.
205 live matches. Like the crowd's just dead at that point, even though they're putting on great matches.
That's what I'm saying. Like, look at some of the and this is only because of the fact that this is like me, like being a student of the game.
Hmm.
Like, my trainer told me like to watch like some of the like the high flyer matches and all that stuff. Even some of the lucha libre stuff. There's no story. There's nothing getting the crowd. Like if you don't have the crowd, that's a dead match. It's a waste of a match.
I mean, for sure. I mean, that's definitely like a key thing is you need to have the crowd with you. But someone who does seem like he has the crowd completely behind him is Matt Riddle. Even though he wasn't able to pick up the NXT title, he had a match against what's his new name? Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed,
Um,
formerly known as
Bronson
Jonah
Reed.
Rock.
okay.
Yeah, no,
Let's
that
just
they.
say. Let me just say
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Let me just say this.
Say it loud, please, please.
I don't know what the heck they're doing when it comes down to these names because number one, I'm already highly pissed at the fact that they changed the War Raiders already.
Right,
So
right.
I was
Okay.
already
Were,
mad about that.
were you there when when they changed it to the so it was War Machine, then they went to NXT and they became War Raiders, then they got called up, they became the Viking Experience for like a hot week, then they changed it to the Viking Raiders because it was shitting on so hard. Were you around? Did you experience that whole Viking experience?
Yes,
Oh my!
yes,
And here's the thing: I didn't mean to
yes.
do that. When
Which
like,
is what made me because as a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this right now because wasn't it? Because it was literally after Takeover, wasn't it? It
Yeah,
was after
yeah,
Takeover, and they put them on. I think they put them on Raw that night after.
yeah, they did.
yeah.
They put them on Raw the night after, and they were talking about the Viking experience, and I was like, what?
Okay, so
Like I was like, and then I'm mad that they changed their names too. I was like, I finally got used to calling them Hanson and Roll.
and they changed it to Eric and Ivar. Okay,
Eric and
so
Ivar.
yeah,
All right, bro.
that's a whole pot. We could literally sit here for an hour and talk about how like WWE like messes up names and stuff.
That's beside the point.
Yeah.
You guys are probably gonna hate me for this,
Okay.
but I'm not the biggest fan of Matt. I love the fact that he has the
What?
crowd. I love that he has the crowd, but I am not the biggest fan of Matt.
Bro, say it and say.
Like the reason being is because he's just another MMA superstar. That's
Okay.
all he is.
Okay. I can see
That's
that.
I mean,
fair knock, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
if he because he's all MMA. It's all that like literally his moveset is nothing but MMA. It's nothing but strikes.
but I will tell you
It's
right
nothing
now,
but strikes.
the strikes are so good though.
They are no, don't get me wrong. They are good. Like I'm not saying that his work ethic is not good because it's great. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
But like watching that match with Bronson Reed, like first of all, number one, you are not supposed to pick up Bronson Reed. Number one,
Okay,
like
I know you're not supposed
you
to.
picked him up with ease.
I don't know. He's not supposed to, but I'm sorry, man. Some of these people are hitting up John Cena because John Cena used to do that shit to like Great Khali, Umaga.
But you gotta realize those. You gotta realize though, Cena did that because of the fact he was in the gym 24/7.
Hey, man, there's something.
That man lives in the gym. Like you can look, you can like. Have you not seen him train with Sheamus?
No.
Like that man is a freaking monster in the gym.
I know, man. I'm just making the call back to the John Cena secret stuff that we did with Ciampa earlier. I'm just trying to.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like that
your,
dude's a freaking monster.
I get your point. No, it's a fair and valid point. Like if he's such a big guy, obviously Riddle doesn't have the physique to like believably be able to like pick the guy up. But like, look, just like the big thing that I did notice about this match, and I don't know if you saw this part of the match as well, Jay, but he goes and hits the bro to sleep, which is just a modified version of the GTS. Right?
Oh, the GTS, yeah.
But I love that he adds bro to a lot of his stuff, right? So he adds the bro to sleep, then he flips him over,
he flips him. That's my thing. Like I saw that, and I was sitting here, I was like, there is no concept to this match. Like they just buried Bronson Reed. That was so unnecessary. Like that dude is not 160 pounds. That dude is like over 200 pounds. Like
that's just,
come on now.
Honestly, that's one of those things where it's like it's part of his stuff. Like honestly, after that bro to sleep, you common sense would dictate you go ahead and go for the cover. He doesn't. It's something that I've nitpicked a lot as well. Not just you, obviously. I know you have like known that you've actually trained in professional wrestling, and you know that sometimes just like you need to have that logic in it. And
that's
he went like so. Let me just finish through this, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
So he goes with the bro to sleep. He flips him over, hits a power bomb. That should be enough. No, when he gets up, he hits him with which I like the name. I love that all these wrestlers are having all these cool ass names, but he calls it the Final Flash knee. I freaking love it. Like the knee.
Shout out to Vegeta.
Yeah, and then over there, Keith Lee hitting the Spirit Bomb. I freaking love it.
Shout out to Goku.
There you go, Goku and Vegeta. That's the match I want to see. Matt Riddle versus Keith Lee. Let's see that. But
I mean, hey, bro, you can check that out. They had one at Evolve. It was pretty dope.
Dude, I think they had one here in Chicago, and I wasn't able to check that out. But look,
check the one out that they have at Evolve. Keith Lee has Mewtwo on his trunks. So
I freaking love that guy. Dude, like going back into this match, your criticism is fair. It's a fair criticism of like just today's wrestling in general. Like it's not just like an NXT. It's mostly you don't see that a lot on main roster. You see it mostly on NXT. You could see it a lot on some 205 Live matches, some NXT UK. You see it a lot like in like Young Buck matches, like or even like AEW matches, or even indie matches in general. I've gone to like freelance shows here in Chicago where like a move should end things and it doesn't. Like for instance, I went to a show. Buddy hits a tombstone power driver. That should end things right there. No, dude kicks out. And that's a great transition here, I think, because like after like you were saying like he Matt Riddle shouldn't been able to like pick up like and carry on his shoulder Bronson Reed, but he did, and then he slowly transitioned into a tombstone, and I marked out for a second there because I'm like, oh my gosh, if he hits a damn tombstone I will lose my shit. But he didn't. He just fell forward. He got the cover 1 2 3. It was a cool finish. The one thing that I did like about this match is that they started it with a fist bump. Nice show of sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship,
yeah. And then after the match, another fist bump. These guys are still bros. They're still friends. It looks like honestly, like this goes back to like you said that he was. It kind of you felt like they kind of buried Bronson Reed, but it's one of those things where I said this is the third match now. Where obviously you look into this, Matt Riddle just lost his NXT title match. They need to build him back up. It's gonna be in a match where someone that they're trying to highlight that's new, but it's kind of telegraphed that Matt Riddle's gonna win. This is the third match in one show where you're like, yeah, it's clear as day that Matt Riddle. Like you guys saw this match, and that at any moment did you think Bronson Reed's gonna win, or the entire time, like me, you guys figured that Matt Riddle was gonna walk away the winner?
No, I knew Matt Riddle was gonna win. Like, but the only thing that I have an issue with is that, like we were talking about before, the logic in it. Like, yeah, I get the fact that Matt Riddle is this big superstar now, but You just went against a pretty much a 200 pound, over 200 pound. That's just about as round as Otis. Like, you gotta get some logic going. If you talking about telling the story,
Mhm.
like that's what this business is about. It's about telling the story. You don't just Matt Riddle is like I don't even know if he's 200 pounds.
He's
Like,
like, I think he's a little bit over 205, so like he's barely outside the cruiserweight division.
yeah, so like he's barely out there, and it's just like I guess I'm just sticking up for the big dude. I guess
No,
if you
I
could
mean,
say that.
It's
it
okay.
makes
It's
sense
fine.
to Jay's point, like just the basic logic, basic psychology of it. When you have Matt Riddle just lifting him up with ease, we should have seen maybe a bit, maybe to start off the match, a bit more of a struggle to lift him. Like,
Oh,
okay, he
build
can't
up
lift
to
him
that
right away.
moment is what you're saying.
Yeah, like build up to it, like because he was flipping him around like nothing, like it was just training day, you know. Like it should have been that struggle to build him up. Okay, he can't lift him up; he's got to beat him down first, and then you build up to that moment. Okay, he finally lifts him. You get that whole Hulk Hogan Andre the Giant slam type thing, that build up to that instead of just flipping him over and over, which it kind of breaks the illusion because we know how heavy just from seeing things, we know perception how heavy something can be, and when we're seeing someone just flip him over like he's flipping a water bottle over, it kind of takes away
Yeah,
from that suspension of disbelief, if you will.
yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know.
Okay, but that's basically the gist that I'm trying to get through to you guys. Like, though I kind of didn't get my suspension of disbelief in this match because it was obviously, like I said, Matt Riddle was going to win. After this match, we had the fourth match of the night. Tegan Nox made her triumphant return to NXT. Surprised that she came out. Did you guys notice that she had like a Thanos inspired gear tonight? I don't know if maybe it's just me reading.
You know what? I didn't know that. I didn't
I
notice
did not
that.
pick up on that either.
I was more concerned about the fact that like I just wanted to see the match to see if she had any ring rust,
Right. I don't
because
think
with
it
the
didn't.
big
It didn't look like she did though. I mean, the one
no,
thing I was concerned about her knees. See how it was. She recovered because she did had the double Stone Cold knee braces, which I think like if you have knee braces on, that just makes you a million times more cool. Shout out to Stone Cold for that. But she faced off against Tainara, who like we're talking about name changes. They cut.
What do you mean predict? Don't watch your slander.
Okay. No. Hold up. Let me make my transition here, Benji, before you cut
let,
me
let,
off.
I let
let
him
him
work.
in
I
his
let him work.
defense.
Okay.
In his defense.
Okay.
In his
In his
defense.
Where I was gonna go is we were talking about name changes for random ass reasons. One thing they'd like to do is cut short wrestlers' names, and they cut Tainara Conti's name to just Tainara.
Oh wait, hold up. Didn't they do that with Ali too?
Yeah, he was John now he's Ali. So they
Now
did
he's
that,
Ali.
and then okay, so just so that everyone listening here, Benji's like a really big Tainara fan, and he kind of believed like this could have been a 50-50 or Tainara had more of a chance.
Listen.
But Tegan Nox is making her return from injury. She's clearly
What did you expect?
What did you expect?
What did you
Benji?
expect?
And
Listen.
What did you expect?
Tainara's been taking L's left and right, dude. Come on.
You take so many L's, eventually you get a W. All right, but listen. All right, all I was saying was that Tainara over here put that work on that girl. All right, it was no squash match. It was no like, oh, it's gonna be so predictable or nothing like that.
It
That
was
slander that I'm
predictable.
hearing over here.
Okay, I didn't say squash. I said predictable.
It was predictable. It was predictable as in the outcome of the match. Like the
Exactly.
whole match in general was really good.
Yeah, I mean it was.
Thank
short.
you.
It
My
was
girl
short,
over here
it
was
good.
finally incorporating her judo seamlessly in
Dude,
this match.
I like
Finally.
I like Tainara, but dude, going back to the whole Angel
Finally.
Garza thing. I'm like the biggest Angel Garza mark there is right now, probably on Twitter, and even I knew he was gonna lose to Ciampa.
You know what? I think all this stems from your hurt from him losing that match. I think that's what this whole entire
I
podcast-
think you're blind.
Ooh.
Okay, you know what?
Ooh, the shots fired? Hold on. Shots fired? Wow.
You know
wow.
what? We have a podcast to do.
This is so this is what I get to look forward to. Okay. Now we get into the nitty gritty.
Listen,
NXT after
Tainara
dark
was,
over here.
listen, NXT after dark. Listen, it was a good match. Don't get me wrong. Like Tegan Knox was seamless in this match, man. Especially coming back from those injuries that were pretty bad. She was seamless in this match. But like to your point, Dainara has been picking up them L's a bit. Whatever. That's besides the point.
Yeah,
But
she has talent. She's gonna get up there, obviously. But I've been through this entire NXT thing far too long, where I know where she's gonna be a player down the line, but it's not her time right now. The finish of this match was kind of cool, which I like. So like, if anybody doesn't know, like, Tegan Knox is like one of the biggest Kane fan, and in her matches she calls herself like Lady Kane, and she does choke slams in honor of Kane, and she did that tonight. She busted out a choke slam, and then
look, hold on, let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there.
Talk about fanboying over here. Tell them.
Okay. First of all, Tegan Knox, the Fox is not supposed to be doing Knox.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a tongue twister.
I know.
So she is not supposed to be doing choke slams like that, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Hey
man,
it's
okay.
Like,
I
like
get
she
it.
she ragdoll. She ragdoll Tanara. I was like, what?
Here's the thing.
Why
if
is
it's someone,
a choke slam is a finisher. A choke slam is that is a protected move. That is a protected move.
Dude, we're in the era of wrestling where a super kick, which used to be one of the most devastating finishers.
Bro, don't even talk about the super kick. I don't even want you to talk about the super
even
kick.
like the
Because everyone,
like
the Young Bucks made that like a thing now. Like,
hey man,
we could get a super kick here, super kick there,
bro,
super kick here. Oh, but it's not going to end the match.
I'm a sucker for a good super kick party. Sue me. But. Like,
no.
Wow.
No. Why?
I like a good super kick party.
Why?
I don't like it all the time, but
here, no one is gonna get me with their super kick if their name ain't the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
Sorry, no one's gonna get me with a super kick. I'm just.
No, I get where you're coming from, but we're in an era of wrestling where like old finishers are becoming transitional moves or signature moves, just like we saw in the Matt Riddle match. But like tonight,
Yo Usos, let me holler at you, bro. Yo Usos, let me holler at you. Super kick all day.
Speaking of which, I do want to see Usos versus Young Bucks. Let me have that. Inject that into my veins right now. But going back into this match, though, she did hit the choke slam. Tainara goes into the corner. She hits this running like cannonball thing. This cannonball senton that Kevin Owens does a lot. She goes to the top rope. She hits an amazing crossbody, and from there she transitions into like the shiniest wizard you've ever seen. Hits Tainara. Gets the 1, 2, 3. Great win for.
Now we'll say this: that shining wizard.
Yeah.
Dope.
Love it.
I don't see too many people do a shining wizard.
I think the last person that I seen use the shiny wizard as a finisher was probably AJ Lee.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she still, but even still, she had she used the whatchamacallit too, the octopus stretch.
Yeah, exactly. So she had a bunch of stuff. So like I said, she got the win with the shiny wizard. After the match, Kathy Kelly is trying to interview her. She's trying to have a feel-good moment with Tegan Knox. Dakota Kai, her best friend, comes out. She's about to speak. Before Tegan Knox can even say anything, Shayna Baszler and the rest of the Four Horsewomen come out, basically say, oh, what, now you won the title shot against me? And then Tegan's like, yeah, come at me, bro, basically. That's basically what's the gist of it. And Shayna was like, oh, like, you don't want to get into the ring with me, just ask your friend Dakota Kai what happened to her last time she was in the ring with me. And what I really liked about this is, if you're taking the count, we're starting to count. They have Bianca Belair, who's called out Shayna. Rhea Ripley, who's called out Shayna. They have Io Shirai, who tonight called out Shayna. Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox got into it.
So I'm thinking to myself. So here, hold on. Let me think about this, because that's like that's like 5 people right there.
Yes, sir.
Elimination Chamber match, please.
Oh.
Here's okay.
Bro,
so
I'd be down for that.
Remember when we were talking about how? So I was thinking that maybe a setup here could be Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai. They find another member. Oh, also, fucking Candice LeRae is out there as well. Can also be a title contender. Like, maybe they'll do a women's war game match at Chicago where they have a team of the horsewomen of Shayna and the other two horsewomen, plus the Team Fly Kicks, which is Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox, and the third member, and then we have that. Or I don't know, they throw in Bianca Belair. I don't know how they'll do it, but they're clearly setting up a bunch of challenges for Shayna Baszler, which I freaking love. I was like, I keep saying this every time we cover NXT. I was always concerned about the women's division in NXT after Kairi Sane got called up and they lost a couple of their talent, but they've rebuilt and regrouped really, really great. And here's the thing, they even have Mia Yim out there as well. So it's loaded right now in the women's division, and they're all coming after Shayna Baszler, and I freaking love it.
Yeah, you know what? I'd love it because of the fact that, like, you know, Shayna Baszler, how long has she had the title?
She dropped it at Kairi Sane for like 2 months, and then she picked it back up at Evolution. So she's had it since Evolution.
So that's almost about a year? Yeah.
It's not a full year.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Bianca Belair, cause she went against her at a takeover, and she lost.
Yeah. Mia Yim lost. Candice LeRae, Io Shirai.
I feel like, I mean, it might have like, that's just I do like, when I first saw her, I did not like Bianca Belair. She's starting to grow on me though. Cause like, she's actually like, for her being like a strong ass girl,
yeah,
she's very agile. Like,
definitely, man.
That's crazy. That like I feel like they should actually put the strap on her.
We'll see. I mean, I'll argue and sit here and go to bat for Io Shirai just because I'm like a big Io Shirai guy. So,
you know what? When I think, what was it? The first time I saw Io Shirai. Well, you know what? I saw Io Shirai for a whole different other reasons though, because I think she is like freaking beautiful.
Obviously.
Like I thought she was like, I think it was like the Women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
I think she was in. I think she was in the first ever Women's World. Man, I saw her. I was like, wow. Well, it was the second one.
Yeah, she was in the second one.
Okay.
The first one was when they brought back a lot of like the old school divas and stuff.
Because they brought back. Oh God, let's not even talk about that one. Because I was so mad because they let Asuka win and she did nothing with it. Like, right. And they let Shinsuke win and he did nothing with it.
That's
so that was.
Yeah. Let's not.
Let's not talk about that.
Speaking of people on main roster that were put in situations that did nothing, Finn Balor, previously on the main roster, came back to NXT. I didn't get too much of his promo. He had like a little like vignette for Finn Balor. But the
gist of it was, you know, his life has gone a certain way, but it's time for him to face his future. But for him to face his future, he's got to face it in his past. Basically,
he's gonna find it in his past.
So basically, him returning to NXT.
Right.
So and if I'm not mistaken, Benji, he said he's going to be in action next week, or he's going to be in Full Sail next week. Yeah,
he's going to address the crowd or whatever.
Hopefully, it sets something up for him at Takeover.
Yeah.
If you have Finn Balor in NXT and he's not in the next Takeover, so you're doing something wrong. After that, though, it was the next match, which was another match. It was Killian Dane versus Boa. Like you were saying, like it's another match. I'm not even going to talk about it because this is like the 5th match we're in where, like, clear as day, Killian Dane is going to get that victory. And there was no, like, I mean, I could sit here and talk about Killian Dane as much as I want. And Boa seems like a great guy. Like, I really like him. I like his gear. I like his charisma. He seems like a nice young kid. And I hope he looks like he has potential, and I hope he makes it. But obviously, this match was just to get Killian Dane over. And again, this is my big issue with tonight's episode. It's the one thing I will nitpick is that this is the 5th match where the winner is clear as day. Point obvious.
Predictable.
So predictable. The only match where I was kind of 50-50 was the Keith Lee versus Dijak match, and the main event, which we'll talk about next, which was Pete Dunne versus Damian Priest, was set up last week because Pete Dunne had his match. After his match, was attacked by Damian Priest. This set up the match. We come back from commercial, and it's No. Before we go into commercial break, Pete Dunne makes his entrance, right? And this is shortly right after the Killian Dane match. And he's at the top of the stage, and Killian Dane is, like, talking to him, right? He's, like, saying something to him. He's calling him out basically, and he gets close enough to the point where Pete Dunne's able to grab his fingers and snap them, and and then there had to be refs and security people to separate them, and then Pete Dunne just shrugs it off. He doesn't even care about Killian Dane. He's looking forward to his match. He's looking towards Damian Priest in his match, and that's when we go to the commercial. We cut back, and we have Pete Dunne in the ring. Damian Priest comes out, and like we say every week on this podcast, when we see Damian Priest on NXT, he has like one of the best entrants right now. He's so good. Like, I don't know, like, Jay, what do you think about him personally? How, like, I don't know how
about Damian Priest.
Yeah. What are your takes on him?
I think he could be a good heel.
Mm-hmm.
I do like his moveset in the ring.
Yeah.
But it's just something about Pete Dunne though. Like, I don't know what it is about Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne gets me so hyped, especially
the Bruiser.
Especially when he when he comes out,
mm-hmm.
and I hear his music, I'm like, bro, it's about to get lit in here. It's about to be a match. but for Priest though, I think that he could be a good addition to NXT. I wouldn't doubt it if like in the next like maybe I say give it about a year,
mm-hmm.
he'll probably have a title on him.
Yeah, totally. I could totally see him be in the title picture either for that North American title or for that for the NXT title. And here's the thing. It was one of those... See, this match, I wasn't too sure because Damian Priest was undefeated. Pete Dunne is at the top of his game. He's probably one of the biggest names there in NXT. I thought that the whole, like, segment, like, to kick off before the match started between him and Killian Dane was going to be an excuse. You know, Killian Dane was going to come back and cost Pete Dunne the match. I'm glad it didn't happen because, you know, we got the finish that we got, and I thought it worked a lot better for Damian Priest, and it doesn't hurt Pete Dunne to take a L. So yeah, you know, spoiler, yeah, Pete Dunne did take a loss, but this was a really good match, and the match,
like I was gonna say, bro, like that match was actually pretty good. Like I wouldn't have mind Pete Dunne losing that match because,
dude,
like,
did you see the punch that Damian Priest threw to Pete Dunne and knocked him out?
Yes,
Yo.
I saw. I was like, wow. That was crazy.
And then Damian Priest,
like I love
he hit a crucifix.
I love the little switch that they had. Yeah, that power bomb was freaking amazing. I like the little switch that they had. Like, so say for instance, I think he was about to give the bitter end, and then he switches out because he was about to get the, I think it was the what is Damian Priest call his move?
It's basically the Crossroads, dude. I don't know what he calls
well,
it.
yeah,
but it's the
but
Crossroads.
I think he calls it the
Fallen Arrow or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, but whatever. But I like the like little transition that went through when he tried to go for it, and then Pete Dunne tried to go for the bitter end. That was like I enjoy moments like that, like moments where you think, oh snap, he's about to hit the finisher. Oh snap, he reversed it.
Going back to big man that can move, this guy hit a somersault plancha dive onto the outside on Pete Dunne. That shit was crazy.
Oh my god, anybody that can do that. like you're a big dude. You're a big dude and you can do that. Like, come on, bro. Like,
man, dude. Like, okay, Benji. Before, like, we're just rambling on here. But what are your thoughts about this match? Like, what stood out to you? Like, what you liked?
What stood out to me was the fact that this was, to your point, I guess, was one of those matches that was not predictable. I didn't see it going down that way. I thought that either one was going to get a clean win. I didn't expect it to go down that way.
It wasn't the cleanest of wins, if I may, like,
which I will say
for a second and be like, that's not a clean win, but it was a good creative win because, like we're leading up. There was a part in the match where they're in the corner. Pete Dunne is trying to work over the fingers of Damian Priest. The ref gets in the way. She's literally right in the way, and she moves out of the way between the superstars. She's not looking anymore. She has her back towards the wrestlers, and it wasn't the smoothest shot, but it was supposed to be a low blow kick to Pete Dunne, which led to the finish, which was Damian Priest's Crossroads that he hits.
Which I will say about that, just from
Shout out to Cody Rhodes.
I'll just say from.
I'm sorry. Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. Shout out to the Amazing Nightmare.
There
The American Nightmare.
The
American Nightmare.
Oh, okay.
Cody.
So I figured out the name of his. So his finish is called The Reckoning. But
The Reckoning. Okay, yeah, that makes sense now. That makes sense.
So it's called The Reckoning, but it's basically a crossroads.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I saw it like it was a freaking crossroads. I was like, oh, crossroads, cool. I mean, you know, Cody uses that too, and it's called the Crossroads. But
I mean, it works for Cody, you know, because his last name is Rhodes, you know, Crossroads.
Yeah.
Nice little like play on.
Meh.
Okay, Jay Thunder.
The American Nightmare, Cody. Anyway.
Before we kept cutting off Benji, what were you saying about the match?
First of all, I'm so sorry, Benji. My bad.
No, it's all good. Like, I don't even know what I was gonna say now. Oh, nutshot. That's what I was gonna say.
The nutshot. Yeah.
Nutshot.
Oh, Morrow kept saying he hit the
Motherfucker.
bullseye. He kept saying the bullseye instead of a low blow. He kept calling it the bullseye. He hit the bullseye because, you know, he has the archery thing. He hit the bullseye. And I'm over here like, God damn it, Morrow.
But you can't not like Morrow's. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, I've slept on Mauro Ranallo a lot.
Yo,
like he's really good. No, it's not even that. It's just because I'm so used. You got to realize I've been watching wrestling for years.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to hearing Michael Cole. I'm so used to hearing Jerry the King Lawler. Or I'm so used to hearing JR. Or even when he was, I'm so used to hearing Taz, and like, you know, like I'm so stuck in the older ways that I forget about Corey Graves, who's like amazing.
Yeah. Nigel McGuinness in NXT is great, but the NXT commentary team as a whole is really good. I think it's the best out of all WWE.
Especially my babe Beth Phoenix. Like, geez,
she's come a long way, man, for being on commentary.
Yeah, man, dude.
Like, I love the fact that Beth is on commentary. That means I get to see her beautiful face again. Bro, you cannot tell me that Beth is not a good-looking girl.
She really is, but this isn't. We're not trying to talk and admire like the looks of wrestlers. If we were, I'd sit here and talk about Angel Garza for 30 minutes, but we can't do that.
Well, in that case.
Do you guys have any final thoughts on tonight's episode that you want to like lay out?
The only thing I will say is Brazil all day, viva Tainara Conti. That's all I'm gonna say.
Jay, any closing thoughts on today's episode?
R.I.P. Bronson Reed.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I can really say. I think that, you know, with everything that I've seen on NXT, I think that it was a good show. It's just like, there are certain things that, you know, you can nitpick about.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was still a solid show.
Right.
I can't wait to see what happens next week.
So I thought the show was good. I don't think it was great by any standards. I thought there was like 2 really good matches. I'm looking forward to next week, especially to see what Finn Balor has to say and the continuing development of that Undisputed Era storyline. And especially that triple threat. It looks like it's going to be good. The women's division looks solid. I don't know where the tag team division looks like right now, but they need to not do as many of these matches where like it's not a squash match, but it's a showcase match for a certain wrestler.
Okay. All right, mark this down on your calendars. Everybody who's listening, everybody mark it down. Undisputed Era loses all the titles. Done.
Wow.
Wow. Very,
loses all the titles.
Way to not believe in the prophecy, Jay.
Look. It's how long has Adam Cole had the NXT title? I'm just saying.
It's been a minute, but let him hold on to it a little bit longer. They've just
how long has Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish had the tag titles?
Let them be draped in gold just a little bit longer, Jay. Let me have my moment. Let me at least see it at War Games. How's about that?
No. Don't get me wrong. I love the Undisputed Era just as much as the next guy does. Mm-hmm. But there comes a time where when they're at their peak, they have to change something up. And the Undisputed Era is at their peak. Like there's nothing that the Undisputed Era can't do.
Right. I mean, the only thing they haven't shown to be able to do is pick up a 300+ pound man over their shoulders like Matt Riddle. But that's besides the point.
Wow.
Okay.
We're not gonna talk about that.
All right. I think this is a great way to end the show. Thanks for listening, everyone. Like I said, you can find us on Twitter at SmackRawPod. You can find me anywhere at SES Vince. Benji, you can find them at Calavera Comedy. Jay, where can people find you again?
You guys can find me on Instagram, JThunder2009, and you can also find me on Twitter at JThunder2009.
There you go.
And he has a show. Don't you have a show coming up Friday?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes,
yeah.
actually, I do. For guys who are in the Chicago area, my school CSW, sorry, school. Chicago Style Wrestling. We're having an event at Gearin Prep High School. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7. We literally gonna have our guests at the show. Tommy Dreamer. He will be there. He will be doing the main event with Burrito Baker. So you guys can check that out. Also, if you guys happen to be around in November, I will also be there. GPW also has a show going on. It's called Nowhere to Run, and I will be in there going against in tag team action. It will also be at the Posen Civic Center in Posen, Illinois. So tickets are for both of them are $15. So come check us out.
For sure. And if you guys enjoy Jay on the show, he will be back next week. God forbid nothing happens. Fingers crossed, because I think he was a great addition to the show. I know I enjoyed it. I'm sure Benji enjoyed having him. And he'll be here for a while, filling in for Colin while he's out in his wilderness adventure, whatever it is that he's doing. But with that being said, this has been the Smack Raw podcast, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.